What if mastering English small talk isn't about perfect grammar, but understanding a secret social code? Prepare to unlock the subtle shifts in meaning behind phrases like, "How are you?" across different cultures. By the end of this video, you'll be able to transform your casual conversations into authentic and meaningful interactions, no matter where you are. Welcome back to Fluent English Daily. I am Emily.
John! Sorry, Emily. I got so excited about fixing my small talk that I almost forgot my own name. I was thinking too much about what to say next.
That is exactly what happens to many people. We get so nervous about the words that we forget to just be human. That is a perfect place to start.
Right. So earlier you said that "how are you" is a bridge, not just a question. But when I say it at the grocery store, the clerk just says "good" and keeps scanning my apples. It feels so cold, like a robot. Is that the icebreaker illusion you mentioned?
Yes, that is a great way to put it. The icebreaker illusion is when we think every "how are you" is an invitation to talk about our whole life. But in English small talk, it's often just a greeting. It is part of the social etiquette.
So if the clerk says "how are you," they don't actually want to know that my back hurts or that my car is broken?
Exactly. In that moment, the conversation is transactional. It's about the job. They are being polite. The hidden expectation is a short, positive answer. You say, "Good, thanks," and you? And that's the end of the bridge.
Wow, I always felt bad for giving a short answer. I thought I was being boring.
Not at all. Being brief is actually a sign that you understand the cultural nuance. You're respecting their time. Now, if you're at a party, it's different. That's relational small talk. You want to build a connection there.
Aha, so context is everything. But Emily, I travel a lot. Is it the same everywhere? I heard people in London say things differently.
Oh, absolutely. There are so many greeting variations. In London, you might hear someone just say, "All right," as they walk past you.
All right? Like they're asking if I'm okay? Should I say, "Yes, I'm healthy"?
No. If a Londoner says, "All right," they're just saying, "Hello." The best response is usually just to say, "Yeah, all right," back to them. You don't even have to stop walking.
That is so strange. It sounds like a question, but it's just a sound. What about other places?
Well, my friend from Lagos in Nigeria says people often say, "How work?" or "How body?" It is their version of English small talk. In the US, you might hear, "How's it going?" or "What's up?" Each place has its own cultural nuance.
I see. So I should listen to what the locals say and copy them.
Exactly. That is the secret. But what do you do when the greeting is finished? That's where I get stuck. I talk about the weather for 10 seconds and then silence.
Yes, the weather. It is rainy today. Yes, it is. And then we just look at our shoes. It's so awkward.
We've all been there. To move past the weather, you need a technique called conversational threading.
Threading? Like sewing a shirt?
In a way, yes, you're sewing the conversation together. Imagine the other person gives you a piece of information. That's a thread. You need to pick it up and pull it.
Give me an example.
Okay, if I say, "The weather is so gray today, it reminds me of my trip to Seattle," what are the threads?
Well, the weather is one, but Seattle is a much better one.
Bingo! Instead of saying, "Yes, it is gray," you pull the Seattle thread. You can ask, "Oh, when did you go to Seattle?" Or, "I heard the coffee is great there. Did you try it?"
Wow, I see it now. You take a tiny detail and ask a question about it. It keeps the energy moving.
Right. And you can even use current events. It's December 2025 now, so everyone is talking about the new AI robots or their holiday plans. You can say, "The weather is cold. Are you staying home to watch the new holiday movies?"
That feels much more natural. It's not a lecture, it's like playing catch with a ball.
Exactly. But wait, John, it's not just about the words. Have you noticed how people look at you when you talk?
Honestly, I usually look at my phone if I get nervous. Is that bad?
It's very common, but nonverbal communication is huge in English small talk. If you don't make eye contact, people might think you're bored or unhappy.
I don't want that. I'm just shy.
I know, a small smile and a little eye contact go a long way. Also, watch your tone. If you say, "How are you?" with a flat voice, you sound like a computer. If you use a little melody in your voice, you sound warm.
How are you? Like that?
Much better. And don't be afraid of a little silence. Sometimes a pause is just an invitation for the other person to think. It doesn't always mean the conversation is dying.
That makes me feel better. I always try to fill the silence with and
We all do, but a calm breath is better than a loud It shows you're comfortable.
Okay, so I have the greeting, I have the threading, and I'm looking at them, but how do I leave? I don't want to just run away.
That is the most important part. You need a soft close. You don't want to just stop. You need to end with a positive wish.
Like goodbye forever?
No, try something like, "Anyway, I should let you get back to your shopping. It was great chatting with you." Or, "I'll let you get on with your day. Have a good one."
Oh, I should let you go. I hear that a lot. It sounds like I'm being helpful to them, not just leaving because I'm bored.
Precisely. It's a polite way to say, "I'm finished talking, but I like you." It respects the social etiquette. You're giving them their time back.
This is really helpful, Emily. I feel like I have a map now. I used to think English small talk was a wall I had to climb. Now it feels like a path I can walk on.
I'm so happy to hear that, John. Remember, it's a skill. You'll get better every time you try it. Even if you make a mistake, most people are just happy that you're trying to connect.
You're right. I'm going to try all right next time I see my neighbor from London.
Do it. He will be so surprised.
I feel much more confident now, but what about when things get more serious? Small talk is great, but how do we talk about bigger things without it being weird?
That is a perfect question, John. Moving from small talk to big talk is an art form. It's about knowing when the bridge is strong enough to carry more weight.
I want to learn that too. Is it about the topics we choose?
Yes, and how we listen. We should talk about that next. There's a specific way to listen that makes people want to tell you their whole story.
Oh, I definitely want to know that. I want to be a great listener, not just a good talker.
We will definitely get into that, but for now, let's practice our soft closes.
Okay. Well, Emily, I've taken up so much of your time. I should let you get back to your coffee.
Perfect, John. That was a natural exit. But before we finish this part, I want to remind our listeners to think about their own favorite greeting variations.
Yes. What do people say in your city? Is it what's up or how is it?
We would love to know, but don't go away yet because we have more to share about making real friends in English.
Right. The journey from just saying hello to making a real connection is just beginning. John? Sorry, Emily. I got so excited about fixing my small talk that I almost forgot my own name. I was thinking too much about what to say next.
That is exactly what happens to many people. We get so nervous about the words that we forget to just be human. That is a perfect place to start.
Right. So earlier you said that how are you is a bridge, not just a question. But when I say it at the grocery store, the clerk just says, good, and you? And then it stops. It feels like the bridge is broken.
It is not broken, John. It is just short. Before we talk about how to make it longer, let's look at some important words. These words help us understand why conversations work the way they do. The first one is cultural nuance.
Cultural nuance. Wow, that sounds like a very big word for a simple talk about the weather.
It sounds big, but the meaning is simple. A nuance is a very small difference. It's a detail that you might not see at first. For example, think about the color blue. There is light blue, dark blue, and sea blue. Those are nuances of the color blue.
Oh, I see. So cultural nuance means the small differences in how people act in different cultures.
Exactly, you got it. For example, in some cultures, when you ask, "How are you?" the person thinks you really want to know about their health or their feelings. They might talk for 10 minutes. But in the US or the UK, it's often just a way to say hello. That is a cultural nuance. If you don't know that small detail, you might feel confused.
Aha, that explains so much. I used to tell the clerk all about my sore back. No wonder they looked surprised.
Right, they were just following the rules of their culture. Now, let's look at another one. This is my favorite, conversational threading.
Threading? Like with a needle and thread? Like fixing a shirt?
Yes, exactly like that. Imagine a conversation is a piece of cloth. When I speak, I give you a thread. You take that thread and use it to sew the next part of the conversation.
Can you give me an example? I'm not very good at sewing.
Okay, imagine I say, "I went to a beautiful park yesterday, but it was so crowded." In that sentence, I gave you 3 threads. Can you find them?
Let's see. You said park, that's one thread. You said yesterday, that's two. And you said crowded. Is that the third one?
Perfect. You found them. Now, to use conversational threading, you just pick one thread and ask a question about it. You don't just say, "Cool." You say, "Oh, which park did you go to?" Or, "Was it crowded because of a special event?"
Wow, so I just follow the thread you gave me. I don't have to think of a completely new topic.
Exactly. It makes the conversation feel natural. You are listening to me, not just waiting for your turn to speak. It shows you care about what I said.
Wow, that is so much easier. I always try to think of a new topic, like the news or a movie, and my brain gets stuck. But the threads are already there.
They are always there. You just have to listen for them. Now, there is something else that happens while we talk. We call it nonverbal communication.
I know this one. It means talking without words, right? Like using my hands.
Yes, but it is more than just hands. It's your eyes, your smile, and even how you stand. For English small talk, this is very important.
I think I do this. When you speak, I nod my head. Is that nonverbal communication?
Yes, nodding shows me you're listening. Or when you say, or aha. These are small sounds, but they tell the other person, "I am here with you. I am listening."
I notice that when I'm nervous, I look at the floor. Does that send a message?
It does. It might tell the other person that you're bored or that you want to leave, even if you're just shy. That's why nonverbal communication is so powerful. A simple smile and looking at the person's eyes can make the "How are you?" bridge much stronger.
I need to remember to look up more. The floor is not very interesting anyway.
True. Okay, we have one more important phrase, social etiquette.
Etiquette. That sounds like a very polite word. Is it about which fork to use at a fancy dinner?
Sometimes, but in small talk, social etiquette is just the unspoken rules of how to be polite. It's like the traffic lights for a conversation. It tells you when to go and when to stop.
Like not interrupting someone when they're talking?
Exactly. That's a rule of social etiquette. Another one is how much space you leave between you and the other person, or how long you talk before you let the other person speak.
So it's about being kind and making the other person feel comfortable?
Precisely. It's about balance. If I talk for 10 minutes and you say nothing, that's bad etiquette. If we both talk at the same time, that's also bad etiquette. We want a nice, easy flow.
So let me see if I have these. We have cultural nuance, which are the small cultural details. We have conversational threading, which is picking up a piece of what someone said. We have nonverbal communication, like smiling and nodding, and social etiquette, which are the rules for being polite.
You are a natural, John. You learned those so fast.
Well, you explained them very well, Emily. I feel like I have a map now. Before, I was just walking in the dark. Now I can see the bridge, I can see the threads, and I can see the traffic lights.
I'm so happy to hear that. It makes everything less scary when you understand how it works. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware of these small things.
Right. It's not about using big words. It's about using these small tools to make a big connection.
That is a beautiful way to put it, John. A big connection. That's really what English small talk is for. It's not just about the weather. It's about saying, I see you, and I'm happy to talk to you.
I like that. I feel much more relaxed now. But wait, what about all those different ways people say hello, like you mentioned earlier?
Oh, you mean the greeting variations? Like, all right? Or how work?
Yes, if someone says all right to me, I want to say, yes, I'm fine. Why are you asking? Do I look sick?
That is a very common reaction. Many students think the person is worried about them, but it's just another nuance.
Excitingly, I want to know more about those. Can we talk about how people say hello in different places?
That's exactly what we are going to do next. We are going to travel around the world without leaving our chairs to hear how people start these conversations.
Laughs. I have my suitcase ready. Let's go.
But first, if you're listening at home, think about these 4 words. Which one is the hardest for you? Is it finding the threads, or is it the nonverbal part?
Oh, that's a good question. I hope they tell us.
Me too. Now let's get ready to look at those global greetings. John, are you ready to see how the How Are You bridge looks in London and Lagos?
That is a great question, John. When the clerk says, good, and you, they are following a simple rule. This is part of English small talk. They do not really want to know everything about your morning. They are just being polite.
I see. So it is like a social dance?
Exactly. It is a dance. Today, we are going to practice the words that make this dance easy. We'll do some shadowing. I'll say a sentence using our special words, and you repeat it after me, nice and slow. Ready?
Yes, I am ready. I have my coffee and I am listening.
Great. Let's start with our first phrase. Listen closely. I love using different greeting variations.
I love using different greeting variations.
Perfect! You sounded very clear. Now, why do we use greeting variations, John?
Because saying how are you every time is boring?
Right. And in different places, people say different things. Like in London, they might say, all right. Or in other places, what's up? Using these makes you sound more natural. Let's try another one. Repeat after me. Learning about cultural nuance helps me understand others.
Learning about cultural nuance helps me understand others.
Wow, John, your pronunciation is getting so much better.
Really? Thank you, Emily. But wait, what does nuance mean exactly? It's a big word.
It just means the small hidden meanings. For example, in some cultures, a question about your job is fine. In others, it's too personal. That is cultural nuance. It's the flavor of the conversation.
Oh, I like that. The flavor. Okay, I'm ready for the next one.
Good. This next one is very useful for long chats. Listen, conversational threading makes talking much easier.
Conversational threading makes talking much easier.
Exactly. Think of a conversation like a piece of clothing. If someone says, I went to the park today, you can pull the thread of the park. You can ask, which park? Or, was it sunny?
So I just follow the things they say?
Yes, you do not need to think of new topics. Just follow the threads they give you. It makes English small talk feel like a real connection.
That is much less scary than trying to be funny or smart all the time.
It really is. Now, let's try a sentence about how we act.
Repeat after me. Good social etiquette shows that I care.
Good social etiquette shows that I care.
Perfect. Social etiquette is just the set of rules for being nice, like knowing when it's your turn to speak and when it's time to listen. It's the give and take we talked about earlier.
I see. Sometimes I talk too much because I'm nervous. Is that bad etiquette?
It's okay to be nervous, John, but stopping to listen is a great way to show respect. It's part of the social contract. Now we have one more important keyword to practice. Listen to this. I use nonverbal communication to show I'm listening.
I use nonverbal communication to show I'm listening.
Beautiful. Nonverbal communication is everything you do without speaking, like nodding your head, smiling, or looking at the person. It tells them, I'm here with you.
Oh, so even when I'm quiet, I'm still communicating.
Exactly. Your smile is a very powerful tool in English small talk. It makes people feel safe.
I can do that. I can smile. Look, I'm doing it right now.
I can hear the smile in your voice, John. That's wonderful. You did a great job with these sentences.
I feel a bit more confident now. The words don't feel so heavy in my mouth.
That's because you're practicing. The more you say them, the more natural they become. You're moving away from being a robot and becoming a great conversationalist.
I like that word, conversationalist. It sounds very fancy.
It just means someone who's good at talking with others, and you're getting there one step at a time.
Aha. So next time I'm at the store, I'll look at the clerk, smile for nonverbal communication, and maybe use a different greeting.
That's a perfect plan. You can say, "How is your morning going?" instead of just, "How are you?" That's a small greeting variation that opens the door.
So if she says she's busy, I can use conversational threading to ask if the store is always this crowded.
Precisely. You're learning so fast. You're using the threads she gives you.
This is actually kind of fun when you think of it like a game.
It should be fun. Talking to people is how we make friends and learn about the world. It should not be a test you have to pass.
Right. It's a bridge, like you said at the start.
Yes, a bridge to other people. You're doing so well, John. I'm very proud of your progress today.
Thanks, Emily. I really appreciate your help. I feel much calmer about my next conversation.
I'm so glad. Why don't you take a moment to breathe and think about these phrases? Maybe even try saying them one more time quietly to yourself while you finish your coffee?
I will do that. Variations, nuance, threading, etiquette, communication. I think I've got them.
You definitely do. Now, we've talked a lot about what to say and how to look, but there's one more thing that people often find very difficult.
Oh, what is that?
It's the end. How do we stop talking without being rude?
Oh man, I definitely need help with that. Sometimes I just stand there because I don't know how to leave.
Don't worry, we'll look at that next. But first, let's take a quick look at how we can move past the simple things like the weather and really start to connect.
Wow, that shadowing practice was really helpful, Emily. I feel more like a social dancer now.
I am so glad to hear that, John. You are moving with the rhythm. Now it is time for our favorite part of the show.
Oh, I know this one. It is the question of the day.
Exactly. We want to hear from you, our listeners. This helps us practice our English small talk and understand the cultural nuance of different topics in a safe way.
So what is the question for today, Emily?
Here it is. What is your favorite topic to talk about when you meet someone for the first time?
Oh, that is a good one. Sometimes I get stuck and only talk about the weather.
The weather is a classic choice, but let's look at 5 simple ways our listeners could answer this question. This is a great way to use conversational threading.
I see. I am ready. Let's hear them.
Number 1, I love talking about local food. It's a great way to learn about the city.
Aha, I like that. Here's number 2. I usually talk about my pets. Everyone loves a good cat or dog story, right?
So true, John. Number 3, I enjoy talking about travel. It's fun to hear about where people have been.
Right. Number 4. I like to ask about hobbies like movies or music. It helps me find things we both like.
Excellent. And number 5, I often talk about my weekend plans. It's a very natural way to start a chat.
Nice. Those are great examples. They show good social etiquette because they're friendly and easy to answer.
Exactly. Now we want to hear from you. Please share your answer with us. Leave a comment or send a message. We love reading your stories.
Yes, please tell us your favorite topic. It helps everyone learn together.
Coming up next, we are going to look at something very important that we do not say with words.
Oh, you mean nonverbal communication?
Exactly. Let's talk about why your eyes and hands are just as important as your words.
Today was truly wonderful, John. We learned that English small talk is not just about perfect grammar.
Right. It is about the feeling. It is about that cultural nuance you mentioned.
Exactly. From greeting variations to conversational threading, we are learning to connect, one small step at a time.
I feel much better now. I will focus more on my nonverbal communication and simply listen.
That is the best way. Remember, every simple hello is a chance to practice social etiquette and build a bridge.
I really like that. Thank you for walking with me today, Emily. It was very calming.
Always, John. And thank you, dear listeners, for being part of our quiet space today.
Yes, thank you. See you next time.
Goodbye for now.
Congratulations on making it all the way through the lesson with Emily and John. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right in the center of your screen so you never miss our next lesson. You can also check out more videos right over here on the left or right side. We've picked them just for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.